Hi, everybody. It's Jill here with Illuminating Women, and this is our Friday Lunch and Learn, where we just grab our lunch, take 30 minutes to spend time with our sisters and learn something new, because we know that when women work on their personal growth, it helps them every aspect of their life and really in their professional successes too. So today, I'm super excited to bring another one of these amazing women in your life. This woman is a mother, a grandmother, and an incredible entrepreneur. And she has taken the world by storm. Constantly a constant learner, has a heart of gold. She is with a wonderful company called doTERRA Essential Oils. She's an author, and she is a coach, and she's helped people see things of their life that they can't even see, and just projects people out there, illuminates their world. And today, anytime she speaks, I constantly get people coming back to me going, when is she going to come again? When is she going to come again? Because she's so good. So I am so thrilled that once again, she said yes. She's coming in today just to share with us. So you're going to want to have your note paper, because you're going to take notes on this lady. She's going to bring you some excellent tips and tools. And what she's going to talk about are some of those anchors to help us get into the new 2021. We're starting our fourth quarter. The days are going to get shorter. The weather's going to get darker. And we're in a political season and during a pandemic. And we need love, light, and joy and opportunities to see past all of that. And that's what she's going to do. And she's incredible. So PJ, welcome to this place. And I'm so excited to have you here. Thank you again for saying yes.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me, Jill. I'm always so honored to be with all of you. I'm kind of like a stalker on Illuminating Women. I watch all of you. I track a lot of what you're doing, and I just love it. And I have a very full plate in my life, and I love it. Wouldn't have it any other way. So I have to be picky and choosy about where my time goes, but I'm always honored to come speak. And I'm especially honored to be with each of you today. You're here for a reason. And so my intention today is to share with you what's been on my heart. Whenever someone asks me to speak, I always spend a lot of time pondering about the group that I'm going to talk about and try to set my intentions and thoughts in a place that's going to be good for you. So like Jill said, I'm going to talk a little bit, not so much about the new year, but how to finish this year strong. And so that when we come to New Year's Day, we're just ready to sell, right? It's been an interesting year. And if you're like me, you sometimes feel like, well, what's coming next? And we just live in this constant, I mean, who knew last spring that we would be in a constant stage of pivoting, changing, holding on, sometimes with our bare fingers, and emotion-wise, making sure we're emotionally strong and we can handle everything and being there for all the people we love and care for. So I want to talk a little bit about how to finish a crazy year in a wonderful way, regardless of all the stuff that may still continue to go on around us. We really don't have a lot of control over what's going to happen tomorrow. If we've learned anything, it's that this year. And so how can we be in control? And this is a topic I've shared a lot with several people, several groups over the last few weeks. So it's really resonated with me. But let me I want you to think for just a minute. I counted today. There are 84 days until January 1st. 84 days where you can choose to sit back and let life continue to happen for you. You can just sit back, roll with the punches, and celebrate on New Year's Day that you rolled with the punches, that you just survived. But is that what we really want to do? Or do we want, the next thing I want you to do is I want you to picture waking up on January 1st on New Year's Day. And what is it you want to celebrate that day? Do you want to celebrate that you just survived? And maybe that's good. Do you want to what is it you want to feel that day? Because this is a principle I teach a lot of the people I coach, is that whatever you're experiencing today, the success in your business, the success in your life, the frustration you have with not getting anywhere, all those things, whatever you're experiencing today was actually a result of your planning and what you put in motion 2 to 4 weeks ago, maybe even 6 weeks ago. So we have about that long or a little bit longer to put some things in motion today and this weekend, so that these 84 days set for us an amazing New Year's Day. And that's what I want for each of you, is to have an amazing New Year Day. That this was like, you can look back on the last quarter of this year and you can say, wow, look what I accomplished. Look what I got done. Now, if I were to ask each of you, what is it you would like to do? It could vary in so many ways. And if you're like me, I'm an achiever. I have a way too long of list. It's like, I want to do all of this, right? And the first thing I always have to tell myself is you can't do everything, PJ, because then you won't do anything well. So go through, the first step is to make a list of all the things that you might be able to want to celebrate on that 1st of January. And look at the different areas of your life. What in your financial area, what is it you'd like to accomplish? In your relationships with your family, what would you like to see? A relationship with your friends, in your business, there's different aspects to your business. What is it you'd like to accomplish in your business? Jean, I love that you shared you're going to start this program of being in this park and taking pictures. That's awesome. And so what do you want to come out of that? What is it on New Year Day, Jean, would you like to celebrate that came out of that program? Because I think too often we get something in our head of like, oh, I want to do that. And so I'm going to take one that's so common among all of us. I want to lose 10 pounds. I want to lose 10 pounds, right? How many of us say that? Of course, the number varies with all of us. And we all say, I want to lose 10 pounds. And then we're like, okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. And pretty soon 10 days have gone by, and pretty soon 30 days have gone by, and we haven't done anything about it. So we have to put the next step of, well, first, let me back up. After you make this list, after you go through all the areas of your life, and it's going to probably be a long list, just choose a few, maybe even just choose one of what is it you want on New Year's Day to wake up and lay in bed and go, I'm so glad I did that finally. I'm so glad I cleaned that closet. I'm so glad I got 30 new customers, or I've lined up my entire half of next year in clients, or whatever it is you really want to wake up and celebrate. And spend some real time thinking about that. And then choose 1 to 3 items that you really, really want to focus on. And you're going to have to let go of some of them, because there's no way we can do everything we want to do. And please pick something that you have the control over. So don't wake up and say, I want everyone to be in peace on January 1st. You can't, we don't have a lot of control. We can do our part, right? But choose something that you can measure, something that when you wake up that day that you accomplished. And so it has to be measurable, whatever it is. And then back it up. You have 84 days to figure out what it is you're going to do to reach that goal. So what do you have to do? And what's your check and balances? Are you going to check in each Sunday? Are you going to check in each week? How are you going to measure? Do you have an accountability partner? I am such a fan of accountability partners. And that it can be 1, it can be 2, it can be 3, as an accountability group. And for the people I coach, what we do in accountability groups is you just text everybody before 10 in the morning. Maybe it's just one person. You just text them, this is what I'm going to do today regarding my goals. And then by 10 o'clock at night, you have to text them and say that you're done. It's important to be committed. And if you didn't get it done, you better have a good reason. In fact, I found this great quote today that came across my desk, and it said, if you're serious about changing your life, you'll find a way. And if you're not, if you're not serious, you're going to find an excuse. So what is it that you need to do? You know, like if your goal is to lose 10 pounds, well, maybe by mid-November, you better have lost 5. And by the end of October, you better have lost 3. Or whatever it is. Maybe you want to do a good cleanse and restore, a good detox, and you know, whatever that is. Just think about these different things. Now, I want to take this a step further. And once you have those check and balances in place, or you know what you need to do, how do we remember to do them? If you're like me, let me give you some examples. And in doing that, let me talk to you about anchors. One of the greatest things I learned this year was the importance of anchoring something you want to do to something, some sort of anchor. Now, if you read habit books, they'll tell you to anchor it to a habit you're already doing, which is great. But if you can anchor whatever it is you're trying to do to some sort of something, whether it's sight, and it's your 5 senses, anchor it to something in your 5 senses. So if it's sight, every time you see something, you do this. Every time you hear this, hear like a certain song or hear something, you're going to do this. Every time you taste something, you're going to do this or whatever. And I'm a big one with smell, right? Because I'm the essential oil lady. So I'm always like, you can anchor it to some aroma that you smell and that you want to do. So let me give you a couple of examples of anchoring. So when I was doing lots of traveling, which wasn't this year, but for many years, I've done a lot of traveling. I have an international team. And so it was really important to me to make sure my immune system was strong when I got on and off airplanes. And so in doTERRA, we have a product called On Guard, which is a really great product for keeping your immune system strong. And they come in these little beadlets, so you can just swallow them. And so I always wanted to like take 2 beadlets when I got on a plane, but I'd forget. By the time I got on the plane, I'd forget all about it. So I realized I needed to anchor it. So I needed to anchor it to a site or something. So I realized that the best place for me to anchor that was the one thing that always consistently happened getting on a plane was standing on the jetway. They'd take your ticket and you would stand there for however long waiting to get in on your seat. So in my backpack or my purse, I always had one place where I kept these beadlets. And the minute I got on the jetway, my site, oh, it's beadlet time. And I would pull them out, pop in a couple and swallow them. And so that became a big habit. I always was, and I never had to worry about it again. So that's one example. Another example is I have really worked hard to increase my water intake. And make sure that I'm drinking, so I'm staying hydrated, because that hydration affects so many aspects of your body. You know, you can feel tired. It's just because you're hydrated. And we all think we drink enough, but we don't. So I had a goal to drink almost 90 ounces of water a day, which is, you know, you really should be drinking about half your body weight in ounces. So anyway, so I was like, how do you do that? So what I do every day, and again, I anchored it to something. So every morning I make a smoothie for my husband and I every morning. And when I do now, I pull out mason jars, 3 mason jars, because that's a good 90 some ounces. And I fill them up with my filtered water and I put lids on them and I set them on the corner of my counter. And that's why all day long as I go by them, I'm like, oh yeah, look, I still have that whole jar to get down and it's like 4 o'clock. I better get to work. So for me, that's been something I've anchored to my site. I see the jars, I set them there, and I've anchored it to a habit of making my smoothies every morning. I just fill those jars or my water bottles and I have them all sitting there. And I just know I have to drink that. So whatever it is, these little things you have to do over the next few weeks to reach your goal, anchor it to something so that it's much easier to form that habit, right? And form the behavior that it is you need to do. Because I think one of the worst, I shouldn't say this. I try to pick my words really carefully. One of the hardest things that's happened to us this year is we've got into a mode of letting life just happen, because it's so changing, ever changing, you know? And then for some of us, because we're home all day or for whatever reasons, we tend to, our emotions are sinking. We're constantly trying to just keep ourselves up. And so it's time we take our lives back. We may not be able to control the other things, but we can decide how these next 84 days are going to end. And so that on New Year's Day, regardless of the situation, whether we have to continue, you know, home more, whether we have to continue wearing masks, whatever it is, we can say, look what I accomplished in 84 days. I cleaned my closet. Isn't that awesome? Whatever it is that you really, because you'll feel so good that you did those 1, 2, 3 things. Maybe in your business, it's just, you know, completing a program that you really want to do. Or maybe you've signed up for a whole bunch of webinar series of classes and you haven't finished any of them. So pick 1 or 2 and say, I'm going to finish those, right? Maybe you didn't get all of the Illuminating Women conference listened to. And you're like, okay, by the end of October, I'm going to have listened to all of them, because we have the recording, right, Jill? And you say, okay, now to do that, I got to back it up. If there's X number of talks and I want to get all of them in, or I still need to listen to 6, maybe that's 2 a week, or whatever it is, back it up, make a plan. Because you know the phrase, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And if there's anything I would wish for you, because I know how amazing it can be in your life, is that you wake up New Year's Day and you feel good about something you could control and you could do and you could change, whatever that is. So that's my wish for you, and anchor the things that you need to do to make that happen to something that's going to make it much easier for you to do. So that's my thoughts for you. Pretty simple, but yet that's really how we make it happen. So
Oh, PJ, I loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it. You know, and I didn't think about that. I didn't think about the anchoring. Those are really good. Yeah, look at her. She's got her mason jar, right? Those are really, really good. I love that, from the mason jar on there to the visual, because we can be overwhelmed. And what you just did, and I love that you said it, and it's exactly what I've seen. We're letting life pass us by. And we keep, because of what we're going through right now, we're kind of feeling that. And I just, that's a difficult kind of thing. So what I think I'm going to do right now is I'm going to stop the recording, because that was just too awesome. And I think it's a great place to stop. But the rest of us are going to stay on here, and we're going to dive a little deeper with you, because we can ask more personal questions. And, you know, just thank you. Oh my word, that was beautiful. All righty. And PJ, if somebody wanted to reach out to get to know you a little bit better, how can they find you?
My email is really easiest. It's pjhanks@gmail.com. Pretty simple. That's the easiest and quickest way to get a hold of me, because I'm pretty stay into that. You can always message me through Facebook as well. So that's good too. Whatever works.
Yeah. And you are a diamond with doTERRA, and you've been with the company how many years?
10 years.
10 years. It's amazing. You've got a fired up team, and you do so well, and you love helping people with their health.
You do.
Mind, body, and spirit. You really do. You just shine that so well. All right. Stay on the rest of you. We'll have our conversation. And thank you again, PJ. Have a wonderful time. Check us out, illuminatingwomen.com. Look at all our wonderful videos with these beautiful women giving you fabulous tips. All right. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.